All right, so today is July 22nd. I already said this once. Sorry, I'll say it again for the recording. This is our Success Achievers Club. This is our weekly coaching session. It's a membership club. It's like $20 a month. It's for all companies. Doesn't matter what company you're in. If you're in direct sales, network marketing, MLM, we're here to help you grow your business. We're here to help you be successful. And so it's non-company specific. We are not talking about any specific company tonight or any night. But we are going to give some training. And tonight I invited a whole bunch of extra people in, people that are on like two of my teams and people that have been following me that I've kind of been mentoring for a long time. I invited everybody to come on this call because I feel like this is a super important topic and I'm getting a lot of people asking about it. So I'm just going to go ahead and go into it. And I'm going to mute everybody. If you have a question, feel free to raise your hand or you can unmute. It's not that I don't want you to talk. I'm just trying to keep it so there's not a lot of background noise. So let's see. So today I thought we would have an important conversation about the Rodan and Fields, about what's going on. I mean, in case you missed it, Rodan and Fields just made an announcement just recently that they are essentially eliminating their multi-level component of their compensation plan. So that means they're effectively terminating leadership pay, which basically means they're not going to pay they're only going to pay personal commissions on personal customers. And this is unfortunately the second time in just a few weeks that this has happened in our space. It happened with Seint a few weeks ago, and there was also an announcement from Beauty Counter that was very similar. But all of them are in the beauty industry and have essentially kind of pulled the plug on our direct sales network marketing model. Richard and I are good friends with Sarah and Chris, who were the founding members of Rodan and Fields. They have put their heart and soul and built a huge business, and now it's all for nothing. It's just devastating. It just breaks my heart because I know them and I know what this is doing to them. And I know that there's a lot of you out there today that are feeling afraid of what this might mean for your particular business and your company. And I know that because I've had a lot of people reaching out to me over the last couple of days. So that's why I wanted to open this up tonight. I wanted to invite everybody to be here so that you can join us for this discussion to see if we can work through this together. So first off, my heart goes out to everyone who was affected by these decisions. Our prayers are with everyone and their families. But there's a lot of bad information going around on social media right now. I mean, you know how Facebook is, right? Everybody has an opinion. And unfortunately, most of the people that are talking about their opinions have no idea what they're talking about. But something else that I'm seeing is some people are using this news to benefit themselves financially, and that's not good. I'm seeing posts from people who are showing heartfelt support and prayers to the people that are going through this. And then in the same comment, they're promoting their company, the thing that they're trying to sell. They're like doing things like, hey, I'm so sorry about what's happening in your business. Why don't you join mine? You guys don't do this. Please do not do this. Just don't. It's not cool, right? I mean, it's important that we work our business with integrity and honesty. So here's what I think's happening. So I want to make sure I don't have somebody. Oh, we do have somebody coming.
Yeah.
Admit. Okay, sorry. We have to catch all these people. So here's what I think is happening. I believe that this is not a foreshadowing of what our profession is coming. It's not some revolutionary new business model that all companies are going to go with. And I know that's what you're all scared of, right? I mean, there might be some other companies that might follow suit, and that's so unfortunate. But the reputable companies, they won't do that. And yeah, we're going through a difficult time right now, but you know what? So's the rest of the world. What we're seeing happening today in our space has been happening for the last 2 years in every industry out there. You have Facebook, you have Google, you have Apple, big name restaurants. I mean, here in Vegas, restaurants are falling like flies. Box stores, you name it. I mean, they've been laying off tens of thousands of people over the last couple of years. You know why they do that? It's very simple. When companies struggle financially, they start to cut costs. And guess what the number one cost is in any business? Richard was a store manager. And I bet he could tell you what it is. What's the number one cost in any business?
All the employees.
Payroll,
Yep,
right?
Payroll,
right? So these direct sales companies and network marketing companies maybe have forgotten that the reps, us, are the soul of their business. And that's going to be their downfall. Really, I believe that. So let's look at Rodan and Fields. So Rodan and Fields has been struggling for some time. They were one of the premier preeminent companies in our space for a very long time, but they have been struggling. They were purchased by a private equity firm, which, by the way, typically when a private equity firm buys you, that's not a good sign for your company for the future, right? Most of the time, when a private equity firm takes over, their job is to make the company look like it's worth more and then flip it. It's what they do, just like when you're flipping houses, right? They go in and they do things such as cutting compensation plans, changing requirements to get paid, making reps pay shipping costs for their customers, cutting costs in manufacturing and product formulation, and on and on. There's all kinds of ways they can cut costs. So Rodan and Fields made this decision to go to an affiliate program and discontinue their leadership program. So they're cutting costs because they don't have to pay their leaders anymore, right? It breaks my heart because there are people that have spent years of their life essentially building this company's business, and then they have the rug yanked right out from under them. So when a company makes a decision like this, and this is really important for you to understand, because the press release is always going to say something to the effect of, we're embracing an innovative business model. We're trying to get ahead of the times. We're providing a better opportunity for our field. And so will people benefit from this? Well, sure, some will. There are people that are just focused on selling and they sell a lot of products. I've had people like that on my team. They might benefit. And guess what? That's great. And if you decide that you want to stay with a company that's doing this and market that company's products, then that's great for you as well. Let me let some more people in. So, but it doesn't change the fact that what's really happening behind the scenes is what they're doing is they're cutting costs. They're cutting costs and they're trying to spin it like it's this kind of forward-thinking decision. But in reality, it's them trying to save their company financially. It was the same thing with Seint. Seint has been struggling mightily, and so they did the same thing. So one of the biggest lessons for us to learn from this, the ownership of a company matters. It matters big time. And there's a common thread. The ownership of all three of these companies, Beautycounter, Seint, and Rodan and Fields, the ownership never fully embraced our model. And I'm telling you right now, private equity does not embrace our model either. They embrace it as long as it's making them money. And if it's making them money and the sales are coming, then they embrace whatever's working, right? Because they want sales, right? And so you're not, and then the other thing is you're not likely to see a company go to a pure affiliate program and then change back to a direct sales network or a network marketing model. It doesn't happen. If they go pure affiliate, it's not because they're trying to be innovative. It's because they're trying to save the company. But what's happening is this, and by the way, this is not going to be the last company that we're going to see this happen to. I don't know what company will be next. I don't have a crystal ball, right? But here's what's really being put to the test. This is where we're going to find out what the ownership's commitment to our model is. How committed is ownership to the direct sales network marketing model? How committed are they to the integrity of preserving the business that was built for them by someone else, by us, their representatives? This is what we're starting to see, is we're starting to see companies that maybe they never really fully bought into or embraced what we do, but they tolerated it and publicly said good things about it because it was making them money. And now things change and this is what's happening, right? But it's not all companies. It's for sure not going to be all companies. I really believe it depends on the ownership of the company and how much they buy into our model. It's not a sign of where our profession is going, for sure. It's just a sign of the economy. And it's a sign that the companies are struggling. So let's talk about that affiliate model. What does that mean? I mean, so I know that there's a lot of companies today, many companies that have in kind of a forward-thinking way have changed their compensation plans and they kind of sell what they do as a hybrid affiliate network marketing model. And that's great. There are some out there. There's some out there that's been going for a very long time and doing fantastic at it. And I think there's some benefits. I do think there's some lessons to learn in terms of companies just being a little bit maybe less controlling in terms of what they allow their distributors to do, because most companies, we don't have a lot of power as a distributor or representative. They have a lot of rules. Sorry, my phone's ringing. Sorry about that. So anyway, yeah, we don't have a lot of control. A lot of times the company, they have all these rules and we have to follow them, right? And so when you do have a company that allows you to market different products and maybe have a little more freedom to run your business the way that you want, it's really a good thing. But when a company goes pure affiliate and they start looking for influencers, most likely they're not going to do better with that model than they were with when they had reps and distributors. That's just my opinion, but it's us representatives and distributors who are the heart and soul of the direct sales and network marketing model. This is so important to us because we have to become champions of what we do. I was reading Rodan and Field's press release, and they said in there, and I'm paraphrasing, they said, we want to make it easier for people to get access to the products. And I'm like, huh? What? I mean, I've heard this kind of gaslighting before. I'm sorry. But it's like, how is having a team of affiliates, how's that going to get you to more market penetration more than a team of leaders would? It won't. It won't. And why I say this is that I'm seeing some of the companies, they're like getting intoxicated with these influencers on TikTok and these super sellers, and they think that's really going to explode their business. They think all they have to do is go out there and find these super sellers who will bring in all the volume and build the company's business, and they won't have to pay them as much. In fact, in most instances, I believe influencers earn like 5 or 10%, if that. In some cases, it's less, 2%, right? It depends, I guess, on the product and the company. Yeah. But what I think is very short-sighted on their part is they're very much overestimating the ability to create loyalty with these people. A lot of the top influencers that I've seen, they're not loyal to the companies that they represent. They're just building online. They're going where the money is this week. They're loyal as far as they're able to make money marketing and selling those products. Hey, and that's okay. That's why they're being influencers. That's what works for them. Right? But they're not going to be able to create the same kind of sustainable business that the representatives or distributors can. Got to get somebody else in here. Okay, we're good, right? So they're not going to be able to create that loyalty that we can, right? It's us as distributors who are able to go out and create a strong level of service and culture that's going to retain and help us keep customers. That's not going to happen with affiliates and influencers. Now, that's my opinion. But, I mean, who am I, right? But that's what I believe. I believe that a company that does this, that's going after the influencers and that, they're going to end up going out of business sometime in the near future. Sure, not every company, maybe some might make it, but I wouldn't call it a good sign for sure. So let's look at how we're going to deal with this if it happens to us, because that's what we're all worried about, right? If it happens to us, what are we going to do, right? So maybe you see things happening in your company, and maybe you're not sure if you should jump ship. And let's be clear, people leave companies for many reasons, and that's totally okay. If you're just jumping from company to company because you can't seem to be successful, then I suggest you look inside and maybe get some training and build your skills, because that's what you need is your skills, right? Because if you can't be successful in one company, you're not likely going to be able to be successful in the next company either. But there's nothing wrong with changing companies if that's the right decision for you to make. And unfortunately, some people don't have a choice. We know that, right? Such as the companies we're talking about tonight, right? Some of you will choose to stay, and that's great. If you don't want to build a team in an organization, then more power to you. But I think that that's a huge mistake. And I think it's kind of sad that there's so many people out there that are giving up on building and growing a team just because they don't know how to do it. Richard and I went to a training recently in LA, and there was a speaker, a guy named Cullen. I think a couple of people on this call might know him. But anyway, he was telling us that he talks to people all the time who tell him that they don't want to build a team. And his answer is always, really? In every business, you need to build a team. Whether you're in network marketing or if you're opening a pizza place or a laundromat, every business needs employees. They need a team. Or how are you going to make the business work? Right? It's no different in our business. The thing is, the power of our business model lies in that leverage that it gives us to be able to grow an organization. And by the way, if you love your products and you truly feel called to the work that you do, and you think that you can change people's lives through your products, then I personally believe that you have a moral obligation to grow a team. Because the truth of the matter is, most people are not influencer super sellers. I mean, those of you that have teams can probably agree with me on that. You don't have very many that are selling millions of dollars a year, right? But what's really concerning to me is that we're promoting a way of doing business that we see 1/10 of 1% of people doing today. It seems like the average person that comes into our business is falsely led to believe that the way they become successful is they build a huge following and then they have to sell tens of thousands of dollars of product. And yes, that can make you a lot of money. It really could, right? But 99.9% of people will never be able to do that. I mean, I have a good friend who gets, she has a huge audience and she gets on and she does lives every day and does her makeup online and she sells a ton. So some people can do it, but very few, like 99.9% will never be able to do that. So here's the truth. Most of you will be able to touch and impact exponentially more lives through building a team than you ever will on your own personal sales efforts. It's your team sales, right? And think about it. Are you looking for a job or do you want a business that gives you freedom? Because that's what we're all about, right? Because you're never going to have freedom just selling the products, especially if you have to deliver them all. So now you can build a nice income for yourself, absolutely, just selling, but you're never going to have both the time and the financial freedom by just selling products. So for me, I still have somebody coming in.
Coming back.
Just checking real quick. Sorry. So for me, I was called to this profession because I wanted to create freedom and I wanted to impact as many lives as I could. It didn't start out that way. When I first started with my company, I had no intention of doing that. But once I figured out what I had in my hands, I knew I was meant to do this work. And so how about you embrace the fact that just because it's hard doesn't mean that you shouldn't or that you can't do it. We all do hard things every day, right? So if you're finding yourself wanting to go to a different company, I've got some important advice for you. So, number one, take your time. The single most important advice I could give you is to be deliberate about where you go next. If you're in this type of situation, if your company just all of a sudden does away with your rep program or your leadership program or whatever, and you're in this situation, here's what typically happens. There's so much fear and uncertainty, and people start scattering for the hills, right? And the vultures come out. They start preying on that fear. And then, your upline, she goes to company A and she's saying, well, you've got to come with me because I have a spot for you and you don't want to miss out, right? And so people are making those decisions based in fear. They follow other people without ever taking the time to take a look at where they're going. I suggest you research the company, learn about the products, maybe even try the products or even interview potential sponsors because you want a company that feels 100% right for you. Have personal integrity in everything you do. Make it right. You're never going to have that freedom if it's not right for you. And don't be afraid to go against the grain and have the courage to make a decision that's the right decision for you, the one that you feel is the right decision. And then also I want to talk about what's actually happening here. I really truly believe this, but I believe that this is an opportunity for so many of you right now. It might not feel like it because maybe you're in a company where this is happening and people are going to be watching you. And that's the real opportunity. The real opportunity is the way people see you, how you're showing up, the real people that you want to do business with. When they see other leaders trying to market and sell and use manipulation and fear, they're turned off by that. And so you want to lead with love. You want to lead with integrity. You rise above that, right? And that's where leadership comes in. So when everything hits the fan, this is when we find out who the real leaders are. And here's the interesting thing about leaders. Sometimes a leader will step away from the pack and no one will follow. But that doesn't deter them from making that decision that they believe is the right decision. That's because they're true leaders and they're making the right decision for themselves. So if you're in Rodan and Fields, or if any of you are dealing with something like this, you've got to have, if you don't have the mindset of, I'm willing to build this thing over again from scratch, even if nobody follows me, then you're not ready to make the move. You need to be willing to join a company on the company's merits, not because people are going to follow you to that company. And if you would not be willing to build it from scratch, then it's not the right move for you. And I'm telling you, leaders will do that. A leader will go into it with the mindset of, gosh, this is my company. This is where I need to be. If people follow me, great. I would love that. But it's not going to keep me from going and doing what I need to do if they don't follow me, right? It's hard. I get it. I understand that what you might be going through is hard. I just wanted to give you some peace of mind. I want you to know this. I really still believe in network marketing, direct sales. I have never been higher on this profession because this profession changes lives. That's why we're all here in the first place, right? It's still true. Nothing's changed. Some companies had some issues. Some companies made some decisions. Maybe some companies might still do that. I don't know, but it's still, we are in the best place. And this is an amazing opportunity for us. So if you find yourself in a position where you might need to leave a company or move to another, let's talk about how you're going to handle your customers and your team members. It's important that you be open and honest with them. And look, if you've provided good service and if you've really served your customers and team members, they're going to want to follow you where you are. Some won't, but some will, right? It's all about the relationships you built with them. If you have that relationship, you're going to be able to do what's best for them. I really believe that the most important thing with your customers and your team is to be open and honest with them. Integrity is important, and people will appreciate you for it. Remember, you're in the transformation business. You're in the business of transforming people's lives, of giving them hope and solving problems. There's so many different vehicles that you can do that with that can help you accomplish that goal. Your company is really just one of the vehicles that helps you live out that bigger purpose. So don't lose sight of that and don't lose confidence, because what will happen is a lot of people will go to a new company and they'll only be focused on themselves. So don't allow yourself to go there. You don't want to start thinking, oh man, I'm afraid to reach out to my customers. I'm afraid of letting them know that I'm in a new thing. What are they going to think of me? Actually, I get that even from new reps that started a business. They're thinking that. What are they going to think of me, right? Well, you've heard the saying, forget about yourself completely. Have you heard of that? It can't be about your fear. You need to be focused on them, not you, right? Because when you're focused on your fear, you're making it all about you. And that's kind of a selfish way for you to begin a new business because you're worried about yourself instead of the person that you would be talking to. So for me, I would stay focused on the fact that just because I change companies and just because I change products doesn't change the fact that there's millions of people out there that still need my help today. And so if anything, what I would recommend is that if you need to change companies, step into it with boldness and faith, and that you're willing to go out and share this in a way where you're focused on how it can help the person you're talking to. But also get some better skills. Learn how to market and learn how to sell in a way that people actually want. So here's the formula for success today. It's actually really simple. It's do the right things the right way consistently over time. So what are the right things? Post on social media, start conversations, share your products, share your business, build relationships, right? You have to show up in a way that most people aren't. Show up in a loving, helpful way. Be more focused on how your business can be a tool to serve others and not how other people can be a tool to serve your bank account. Mm-hmm. It is so true. If you can forget about yourself and focus on the person and how can I help you, it will completely turn everything around, right? So I also wanted to talk about the market. I'm not an economist by any means. We've had a lot, we've heard all kinds of things. People say food is more expensive, gas is more expensive, right? But we haven't had a recession in like 16 years. That's the longest period of time in US history. Do you remember the last one? I do. I remember it was 2008. We were at the mall recruiting, and all of a sudden we couldn't get anyone to even talk to us. It was like a light switch just turned off. I had a friend who actually joined my team later, but she worked at the mall and she got us in. We were allowed to use one of their booths for it was like an informational booth. It wasn't a card. It was just an informational booth. And I had to pay for it, but they let us recruit like one weekend a month. I mean, that's what I had chose to do, one weekend a month. And we had been recruiting. And yes, for those of you that go out and sell and do these kinds of things, you're going to know what I'm talking about. People, like, they turn their heads and they don't want to talk to you. They're like moving away from you because you're trying to hand them a brochure, right? And that's always been there. But this time they went way out of their way. They wouldn't talk to us at all. It was just like, oh my gosh, what is happening here? Because it was really weird.
She blamed me. She thought I had taken a bath. Oh,
Oh yeah, Mr. Funny. But later on we learned that we had gone into a recession. We didn't realize it at the time, but that's what it was. And things are hard now, but on the other side of decline is increase. What goes down goes back up. Always. It always goes back up. And so what we're doing, I mean, I don't know when, but we're preparing ourselves for the next period of economic growth and prosperity. And when you look at some of the greatest businesses in our world today, they were started during these kind of hard times. Hard times actually give us the greatest opportunity because most people are going to be stuck in their fear. They're going to fall victim to the uncertainty. They're not going to be willing to do the hard work to develop the skills that they need to compete in the marketplace of today. But if you're willing to have the courage to reinvent yourself, to get the skills, to have the vision, to lead the people, you can set up your family and your business with a foundation today that can create a legacy business for you. I've never been more up on this profession, you guys. When you look at everything that's being said right now, more people today are looking for part-time side hustle, side income than we've ever seen in our country. Look at Grubhub and Uber Eats, and what is it, Smart Cart, whatever.
Yeah.
All these like side gig delivery opportunities. So it's your job to educate them on why our thing is the best option. Your competition is not the person in the company next to you. Your competition is the ignorance that people have around what we do. And your competition is the apathy and a lack of belief that they can do it. So I want you to embrace that challenge. And I want you to recognize that this is a time when you're going to set your family up financially for the next 20 or 50 years or more. So don't miss this opportunity. These are hard times for sure. But I believe that for many of you, I believe there will be a day when you look back and you're so grateful that happened to you and your family because it really was. Maybe it became a stepping stone for you to go to that next thing in your life. I mean, we've all had that experience before, right? Where we got hit with something that we thought was so terrible. Our life was destroyed. We worked through it. We moved on to the next thing. And in retrospect, when you look back, it's always the best thing that ever happened to you. So if you believe in God or you believe in a higher power, that this is it. This is, you're stepping into that next thing. This could be your stepping stone. So if anything, I can just encourage you. Maybe you're not changing companies. Obviously, no, all of you here, I don't think any of you here are in those companies we were talking about, but maybe you're just dealing with challenge and you're dealing with failure in your company or your business. So I believe it's the same thing for you. Being prepared for something more and having faith. This is going to help you to step forward and continue to chase your dreams. So really, that's what I have. I'm going to open it up for questions.
I haven't seen anything come.
Joanna says, so true. And Lisa says, I'm here, but of course I can't get my volume to work. Lisa, you need to Google that. Google, how do I make my volume work on a Zoom call on my phone? So anyway, you guys, we're just like a half hour into this. What do you have? What thoughts do you have? What questions do you have? Would love to hear them. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Or you can type in the chat if you prefer.
Hi.
Hi.
I love the fact, I think it was one of the last things you said, be prepared for something more and have faith. Like those are words of, just true honesty. It makes a difference. It really does. And so I think the more and more I hear things in that close to that, I'm starting to really carry that with me. So I thank you for the encouragement, for the good positive words, because it does matter.
Oh, thank you. It does, though. We have to lead with love, right? We have to believe
Exactly.
that we're capable. We have to believe that we have what we need to be
That we
successful.
can do it, yes, and that we can do it, and that we
We
will do
can.
it as well. Yep.
Every single person on this call can do it. Absolutely.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep.
Yes, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you for
Lynn, I
sharing.
think the biggest thing that I have learned over my time with the company that I am with is 17 years is, you said it correctly. When we take the selling out and when we take, what they can do, what we need them to do for us out, and how we can benefit another person, how can we fit what
Mhm.
they need, you know, it takes the selling out of no matter what it is that you're doing. And when you become concerned and become a better listener, it's amazing how your business or how whatever you're doing grows because you are listening to what somebody else is saying and you're really fitting whatever it is to their needs and not your own. And that's huge when
And
we can do that.
how many people these days feel listened to, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
It's so true, Joanna. Thank you. It's so true because people don't, they feel like nobody's hearing them or nobody understands them. And if you listen to them, that's
Yeah.
all by itself. And Joanna's an expert at that, by the way, of listening to people. But it makes them feel valued and heard.
Mhm. Yep. And that's more important than anything.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, yep. There are so many testimonials out there. And it doesn't have to take long. I was in a laundromat recently washing some clothes and I gave out a brochure. And just from the conversation that me and the other person struck up, they began to just tell me their story. And I'm just like, wow, over time, that's just what I'm realizing. Everybody has a testimonial. You know what I mean? Everybody wants their story to be heard.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, don't we feel the same way? Don't we love it when we feel heard?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's for a reason. Because as much as those people want to have a chance to tell their story, they also want to hear encouraging words, uplifting words, positive words. It helps. You can brighten someone's day just by listening.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, this is kind of a little bit, I'm going a little bit in the woods a little bit, but I went through a training not too long ago about how to recruit and how to talk to people on social media, how to build conversations in messages. And one of the things they said, and I thought this was really powerful, was if somebody's reaching out to you about your opportunity, say you do like a curiosity post on social media and then they private message you or they comment and you message them and you start a conversation in Messenger and you ask them what they do, no matter what it is that they do, you need to validate that. You need to tell them, oh my gosh, you're a mom. They might say, well, I'm only a mom. I don't do anything. Like, are you crazy? You have the hardest job on the planet. But you need to validate them in their job because most people are not heard and they're not appreciated.
Right. Right. They don't get that validation.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's to them it's as if they're not accepted. That's how I look at it. And
Mhm.
we all, you know, we all want acceptance. Who doesn't want to feel, you know what I mean, accepted and loved. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
We all have the same feelings.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Everyone has feelings. We're not robots, so to speak.
Hey, Lynn, and that works in a marriage too. I tell my husband all the time how well he does the dishes and how well he cooks, and he keeps doing it.
Oh
So I
my
just keep
God.
praising
Oh,
him
is
and
that the
telling him how
secret?
thankful I am that he made the bed. You did such a good job.
I'm really lucky. I have a husband that does the laundry and he does the cooking and the cleaning too.
Mine too. Make sure you tell him how lucky he is that he
Hey,
that you
honey, you're
have that.
so good.
Oh.
Richard, I can't wait to taste it someday when I'm there. It's sitting in the
Yeah, there
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
I'm coming.
But warning, it comes with fireballs.
Well, can I have something else? Because me and Cinnamon don't get along well.
I'm just teasing. Absolutely, you can have whatever you want.
Mm.
Yeah. So I don't think there's anybody on this call that's actually dealing with the Rodan and fields and all that, but I just really wanted to I wanted to have this conversation because I know some people might be worried about that happening with their company. And of course we know nothing. We don't have crystal balls, right? We don't understand what's going on. But Did it help any of you feel better? I mean, there are options. Even if the company did make a decision like that, there's lots of options for you. Somebody has something going on.
Oh, my screen is up by mistake.
I'm sorry?
I said that was my screen that came up by mistake. I was just listening. But
Oh,
I can share about how you appreciate when others feel for you, because I'll be honest, I put on Facebook to my company how I just lost my daughter. And I tell you the truth, I only got one person to acknowledge me out of my group. So I felt kind of empty with that. I felt unsupported. Like I
only
said,
one person acknowledged you?
and I haven't even buried my child yet.
That
Yeah.
is so sad to me that only one person acknowledged you, because usually a lot of people will comment. Maybe they're just afraid, they don't know what to say. I would not, don't allow yourself to take that personally, okay? Because you're in pain right now. For those that don't know, she just lost her daughter and she's getting ready to bury her. And
Personally, I felt the emptiness. I felt the void, and I know when anyone passed, there's nothing anyone could say to take that pain away, but to just acknowledge a person, even just, I'm sorry to hear of your loss. Sometimes that's enough, because it shows someone cares.
I know, but it could be that your friends just don't know how to say it. It's, I know that people care, people send their love, and I wish, it's too bad they're not saying it more to you. But we are all holding you in our hearts, okay?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Joanna says, I'm so sorry for your loss, lifting you up in prayers.
Thank you, Joe.
Cheryl, maybe you can join a support group in your area. I'm sure, there's probably something. I don't know if you attend a church or something, but I know there are a lot of support groups that people are going through the same thing. And, if you don't have a friend that has lost a child, I have a dear friend. Matter of fact, there's about 8 people in our church that have lost a child, and I just can't imagine that. But we have a dear friend in our other business that has lost a child as well. So if you get to the point where you need somebody to speak to, I'm certain that she probably would, but I would definitely lift you in our prayers.
And that's good advice. I don't know if you go to church or if you have a church, but that's a good place to start. How about, does anybody have anything else? Any questions or?
Well, I'm trying to say, oh, there I am. I was trying to say something. I was trying to thank you for that encouragement. I am a member of a church. My father was my pastor for 50 years, and I've been a member of my church for 71 years. So I appreciate that. The board was not from my friends and loved ones. I got plenty words of encouragement from them. I'm talking about the people that I actually work with. In my colleagues that I work with, only one person acknowledged me when I posted it on Facebook.
And it's probably your colleagues don't know what to say. They're afraid of saying the wrong thing.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah,
I can accept that.
It's not about you. I can pretty much.
I don't take that at all. I have too much to grieve about to worry about it being personal. I don't take it that way at all. Yeah. It was just an observation.
Okay, well, I'm just looking to see if anybody else. Angelique says condolences and prayers. Pat says condolences. You're probably seeing these anyway. Yeah,
I do. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
We have a couple more minutes left. If anybody has anything they want to talk about business or about what's going on with these companies, or anybody.
I really wasn't even aware of this going on. So I do thank you for the update. I try to stay current and things that are going on. I just didn't know about it. So, thank you for
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with Rodan and Fields, it was hard because, well, because we know the founding members, so the founding distributors. So
sudden.
Okay.
and it was so sudden, but they have had problems. I mean, and a lot of companies have, right? It's not new. And I think some of it, I don't know that we're going into a recession, but I think that times are tough right now.
Yeah. Me personally, I just strongly believe in being able to maintain whatever it is that you have or that you start company, business, whatever it is. And so now I'm starting to think like, did it really get that bad to where they had to make the decision to, of whatever they ended up doing? That's just me personally, I don't know much about it, but
Yeah, but the thing is that we have to remember, and that's why I was talking about this is where it comes into the ownership of the company and how much they believe in our model. Because
yeah,
in
that
some
matters.
cases,
Yes.
because in
Yes.
some cases, Roden and Fields believed in the model 100%, but then they
Okay.
went to a private equity company who then flipped them, and it was bought out by
Oh,
another company.
so it's kind of like that was their downfall sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
then a new company bought them. I'm not sure off the top of my head what the company was that bought them,
Mm.
but this new company that bought them apparently isn't buying all into the affiliate model, right? And so then the
Oh,
company, I mean, not all in on the representative and distributor model. And so then the company, they're looking at their finances and they're saying, well, we're not growing as much as we want to. And keep in mind, these are pencil pushers at the top of the company. And
mm-hmm.
they made that decision. We're going to get rid of leadership, and that's going to save us a ton of money. Yeah, it is, but
Yeah.
it's
But you're
probably
bamboozling. Yeah, but look, you're bamboozling people. You're tricking people.
and it's also,
Yeah.
in my opinion, your downfall. I think that you're going to put yourself
Right.
out of business by doing this.
Okay. It's not going to be a business at all now.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, well,
Mm.
yeah, it's true. It's true. And at some of those big companies, they do have a lot of pencil pushers at the top. You see that even in your insurance company, your health insurance, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. And
It is what it is. Yeah.
I think that most direct sales and most network marketing companies will not ever take this route. I think um, it goes back to the leadership. It goes back to the management at the top.
Right. And right. It just seems like a better decision to not do that. You know what I mean? To not
Yeah.
do to not do that.
It's
So
funny. It's funny because I think that they and I talked about this a little bit. I think that they get these people at the top are getting all excited about these influencers. These guys that are on TikTok that have hundreds of thousands of followers that are
right.
selling a ton of products because they have hundreds of thousands of followers. But that influencer doesn't work for that company. They'll do, I don't know, I'm just throwing out names. They'll do Roden and
Mhm.
Fields today. Tomorrow they'll do Amazon. The next
Something
day
else.
they'll do something
Yeah.
else.
Yeah, and on top of the fact that it's more to it than that. People see that part of it and they just probably go, "Oh, I want to be like that, or I want to have that." What they have, it's way more than that. The field is so open to, and the possibilities are endless. You know what I mean? And so
But they're
uh,
also not building relationships with these clients.
that's what
They
I'm saying.
sell
Right,
something, but
right.
that
And
doesn't
so,
mean, yeah,
yeah,
that doesn't mean they'll come back to buy it again.
right. That's why I said it's more to it than just what the outside looking in sees. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah. All right. Anybody else?
Hi, Lynn and Richard.
Hi.
I just was wondering, I'm not sure if this is the appropriate time and place to ask this question, but is it possible for you to explain a little bit more about this program that we're on the call for?
Oh,
It's that $20 a month program. Is
okay.
this okay to ask that at this
Yeah,
point? Or?
yeah, you can ask that because this is a Success Achievers Club call. So I originally started this because I had a huge team in one company and I'm building another team in another company. And I've also been mentoring a lot of people outside of my team. And I wanted to bring them all together. And then in talking to people, it was a little bit of well, they have to buy in because even when I was doing online beauty biz calls, very few people were showing up, right? And so it's kind of, well, they have to buy in. And that's where we came up with that it's a fee. It's $20 a month. We have these calls every Monday night at this same time. And we are going to start next week. We're going to be starting with this book from Randy Gage. He's one of the top trainers in the industry. He's an amazing guy. And this is a very simple book, but it's how to get started in network marketing or direct sales. So we're going to work through this book. And then after that, then we're going to start training more on how to build online, how to grow your business, different things similar to what I was doing in Online Beauty Biz, but this is going to be non-company specific. So you could be in Tupperware, Mary Kay, any company, and be able to come on our calls, and we'll be able to help you. Does that help?
Yes, thank you. And can you repeat, please, the name of that book?
Oh, it's the ABCs of MLM.
By Randy Gage.
Randy Gage.
And
really thin book,
that's sort of like a book club?
And it's really big print. Pardon?
It's sort of like a book club meeting?
No, well, I mean, we're going to work through this book because he has excellent training. It's not really a book club. I'm not going to keep saying buy books. We're going to start with this because he has very basic how to get started stuff. And I want to start with the basics. And so next week, that's what we're going to start with. When
we first got into network marketing, it was mainly our problem was we didn't have a mindset and we didn't have a belief. And this was one of the tools. We started seeing other mentors or reading other books to get ideas on having tools to do it better. I mean, anytime you know how to do something better, you do better at it. So
that's true. Yeah. I mean, especially for people who have been in the business for 1,000 years.
But there's something to be said with going back to square one too, because you've been in the business for 1,000 years, and you maybe did all the right things when you first started, but you kind of got away from them, right?
Yeah, always good to get back to the basics.
Yes. Yeah, so we're going to start with the basics, and then we'll go from there. And then I have plans. I have like a list of all these things we're going to be teaching on. And some of that stuff is going to be how to build online, how to start conversations, how to take it to Messenger, and how to build relationships, stuff like that.
And when will the book discussion
we will start it next Monday. We'll start that next Monday.
And are the calls always at this time?
Yes.
Monday at 4?
Every Monday at 4 if you're Pacific time.
Pacific, yes.
You're in Arizona, right?
California.
Oh, you're in California. I'm sorry. Yes. 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern.
Okay. And we just click on the link, and do you have to sign up for like a year at a time, or
no, it's month to month. You can cancel at any time.
And do you have auto debit?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can, when you sign up through the platform that I use, when you sign up, it will take it. It will charge your card every month until you cancel it.
Okay. I need those automatic things.
Yeah, it's automatic.
Okay. All right. Well, I know how much value you already add from our other meetings, the Online Beauty Biz meetings. So I just wondered how different would these be?
Well, they'll be similar to those, but it'll be, I'll have an agenda. It's not, how I was doing like no agenda, you bring your questions. This time we'll be doing trainings.
Okay.
And we'll try to leave plenty of time for questions so we can deal with anything that people need help with.
And will there be workbooks or handouts or to print?
Could be, but right now, I don't know. I'm not planning anything at the moment.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll look up that book then and keep the link. And thank you. I appreciate both of you immensely.
Thank you for being here.
Okay. Welcome.
Does anybody else have anything? Want to welcome James. I believe you just joined our club today, didn't you? I think I just saw that come through. You're muted. I think I just saw that come through just before the call.
Okay, there. But I didn't want to miss a thing. You know, I'm kind of an introvert, you
Mhm.
know, and I don't talk that much. I have a lot of friends, but
Mhm.
But see, then you'll be good at the listening part.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
People want to be heard. And you know what, James, you would never probably know this, but I am an introvert.
Yeah.
And I've been a leader. I've been built a business now for 24 years. So I've been a leader. So I've had to step up, right? Sometimes you just have to, you have to force yourself.
yeah,
And so I've learned how to be extroverted when I need to be, but it's like I have to turn it on.
yeah.
If I go out, if I'm recruiting and I'm going out to grocery shopping and I'm talking to people, I can go up to people and talk to them. But if I didn't turn myself on before I walked in that store, I'm like going through the cashier and I'm like, here's my credit card. I don't even talk to her. You know what I'm saying? Because that's me naturally. But if I turned on the switch and said, I'm recruiting today, then I will make it a point to talk to her.
Yeah. But reason I'm here is I want to learn the social part of it.
Mhm.
You know, and I'm familiar with Canva and all that.
Mhm.
Well, Canva's amazing. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the social part of it is just like real in person, but it's online. So you're chatting, you're texting, talking. And as long as you can take it to a private message in Facebook Messenger, you're
Yeah.
having a conversation just like if you were in real life.
Yeah. And I have WhatsApp, and
Well, you're ahead of me because I don't use WhatsApp.
you know,
Uh-uh.
okay.
Is there a reason I should be using it? I don't see the difference between that and a texting app.
Well, there's really no difference, Uh, I'm chatting with somebody over in Kenya.
Well, that if you're going out of the country, it's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
WhatsApp is good for that.
Yeah. And she's in the service, and so, it works out pretty good that way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Well,
awesome.
the other good thing about Lynn too that she said she's an introvert, but what she did, she's created a lot of different systems over the years. And,
Yeah.
and that's the key because she can take herself out of it. She has the systems that replicate and duplicate and make things easier for her. So it's not like you have to be always getting in front of somebody and talking to them. She
Well,
has that make things happen automatic, which is very helpful.
Yeah, and I do things like the boards app where I have the texts and stuff that I use the most are in there. And so then I'm responding to somebody, I'm getting out of my head. I'm just saying, okay, they asked this question, I need to send them this message, instead of, oh, I don't want to bug them because I've done it a whole bunch of times. Instead, it's just the system. Okay, so today's the day I need to do this. Click the button and boom, it goes. And so
yeah.
it's a matter of, yeah, Richard's right. It's setting up systems and helping that kind of thing. They really help, especially if you're introverted.
Can you set up a phone system through like I don't know, like Instagram or something like that?
I wouldn't know how to do that. I
Yeah.
use Project Broadcast for texting,
Yeah.
and I have an email list.
Yeah.
But that's mostly where my systems are built around.
Yeah.
I know they're expensive, but I've seen programs that will kind of allow you to do something similar to what you can do with Project Broadcast in social media. But I think they're kind of expensive. And I just, for me, the price was too high.
Yeah.
Oddly,
Most of the time.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and there is, I mean, you can set up on your like Facebook page, you can set up automated responses,
Yeah.
but those would have to be pretty basic because people are going to know they're automated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oddly, we found it out over the years just by accident, but people have a phone, but they don't like to use the phone. They like to text. And probably 99% of our correspondence with people is with a text. Because if you call somebody, they don't want to talk and they don't want to meet in person. They don't want that personal confrontation, so to speak. But
Yeah.
text is fine, and you can they'll text back and forth 4 or 5 times, and you'll get an instant response. You can almost get a conversation going, boom, and settle things quickly. So it's kind of, that's why she used the project broadcast, because it works 99% of the time, seems to, at least.
Yeah. The thing of, if you ever studied Stephen K. Scott, and his vision mapping plan, that was really good.
Yeah, no, I don't know him.
Yeah. But he was some kind of TV deal.
Oh.
He had a TV commercial deal. And
Cool. Sandra, I see you came in. I'm sorry. I hope that you didn't come in at this time because you had the wrong time because of my first email that was wrong.
no.
And if so, I'm really sorry because we're like done now.
I actually saw the correction one, and it said 7 p.m. my time.
Are you Eastern time?
Huh?
Are you Eastern time?
No, I'm Central.
Well, the corrected one said 7 p.m. Eastern and 6 Central, and I'm sorry.
Oh, oops, I'm late.
And I do not know. I seem to have some block around that time because I checked that email like 6 times before I let it go. And then I finally had it right in Online Beauty Biz, and I sent the correction. So then I went back to my Success Achievers Club and I checked it. I said, it's right? And then this morning I went out and it was wrong. And it's like, oh my gosh. So I don't know. But anyway, you know what? I wasn't going to make the replay available. I was just going to have it in our club, but I'm going to go ahead and make it available. So I'll post it in Online Beauty Biz as well so that everybody can watch it.
Okay.
And normally these recordings would only be in our Success Achievers Club, but this one was an open call that we invited everybody to. So
okay,
I'll make it available.
It's on your Online Beauty page.
I'll post it in the Online Beauty Biz Facebook group for anybody that wants to replay. Okay. So I want to thank you guys all for coming. If you are interested in the Success Achievers Club, it's successachieversclub.com. You can find all the details. I'll put it in here just in case.
I have to make sure I listen to this because I was really wondering about, the what was it called? The Rodan and Fields and all that stuff. So
yeah. Well, and I kind of talked about that. So anyway, hopefully I'll get that recording out probably either late tonight or first thing in the morning. Okay. Thank you guys all for being here. Hope you have an amazing day, and we'll talk soon.
You as well.
Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Have a good week.
Thank you.